Hi Kansas City students, and welcome to KCPS Homeroom Math Monday. I am so excited you joined me today. As you know, I am Erin Dorsey and I am one of the math curriculum coordinators for Kansas City Public Schools. Today, we're going to learn all about how to find and calculate perimeter. Have you heard the word perimeter before? Well, let me give you a little bit of a hint. Come with me into my backyard. Welcome to my backyard. As I turn to my right, you're going to notice something along the side of my yard. Do you see what I see? If you see the fence, then you are looking at an example of perimeter. Well, perimeter is the distance around an object. So when you have a fence in your backyard, that goes around your entire backyard. The distance around your backyard is where the fence goes. So in order to build the fence and make sure that you have enough fencing for your yard, you have to calculate the total distance around your yard. That's a perfect example of perimeter. Can you think of some other places where you would have to calculate perimeter? That's right. What if you are in your house and you are cleaning around the baseboards? Do your parents ever make you do that? I make my kids do that. They always want to make sure that they get the smallest room so they can do the least amount of work. So they're going to want the one that has the smallest perimeter, smallest distance around the room, so they do the least amount of work. Can you think of any other examples? Go ahead, shout them out. There are fences at basketball courts, distance around playgrounds. All of that is perimeter. What if you wanted to create a flower bed where you planted flowers and you wanted to enclose that area? You would need to calculate the distance around that flower bed to know how much material you needed to enclose that flower bed. Now, let's take a look at some shapes and calculate their perimeter. Come on, let's check it out. Perimeter is the distance around an object. So if I wanted to find the perimeter of this blue square, I would want to calculate the distance around the object or the sum of all the object's sides. Remember, the word sum is the answer to an addition problem. So to find perimeter, you would add up all the sides. Now let's take a look at this blue square. What do we know about sides of a square? That's right. The sides of a square are all equal. So side lengths are the same. So if I wanted to find the perimeter of this blue square and the lengths of each side was 12 feet, that means that all four sides measure 12 feet. If perimeter is the sum of all the sides, what am I going to have to do with the length of each side to find the perimeter? That's right. I'm going to have to add them together. 12 plus 12 is 24. 12 plus 12 is 24. When I add 24 and 24, I get 48 feet for the perimeter of this square. Let's check out this rectangle. A rectangle is different from a square in that not all sides are equal. However, corresponding sides are. Let's take a look at this. This side is equal to this side, and this side is equal to this side. So if I know the length of one of them, let's say this is 6 inches, I also know the length of the corresponding side. So if the length of this side were 13 inches, I would know the length of this corresponding side. To find the perimeter of this rectangle, what would I do? That's right, I would add them all together. So I have 6 plus 13 plus 6 plus 13. 6 plus 13 is 19, and 6 plus 13 is 19. If I add 19 plus 19, I get 38 inches. So the perimeter of this green rectangle is 38 inches. Let's take a look at the next figure. Here we have a triangle. In this triangle, I have two sides with a length of 20. Oops, let me get the pen back again. The laser's not going to work, it disappears. I have two sides with a length of 20 yards. And I have one side with a length of 30 yards. How am I going to find the perimeter, the distance around the triangle? You got it, I'm going to add. So let's add these sides together. 20 plus 20 plus 30. 20 plus 20 is 40. 40 plus 30 is 70 yards. The perimeter of the red triangle is 70 yards. Let's take a look at these two objects. The first one is a dining room table. If I wanted to find the perimeter of the dining room table, what information do I need to know? Absolutely, I need to know the lengths of each side. So let's say that the length of the longest side is 8 feet. And the length of the shorter side is 3 feet. How can I use these numbers to help me find the perimeter of the table? I'll give you a hint. Remember, corresponding sides of a rectangle will have the same measure. That's right, I'm going to add them up. If I know that the length of the longer side is 8 feet, I also know the other side is 8 feet as well. If I know the length of the shorter side is 3 feet, then that means the length of this short side is also 3 feet. To find the perimeter, what am I going to do? Add them all up. So I have 3 plus 8 plus 3 plus 8. 3 plus 8 is 11. 3 plus 8 is 11. 11 plus 11 is 22, and my unit is feet. So that means that the perimeter of the rectangular dining room table is 22 feet. You guys are great at this. Let's take a look now at the flower bed. What happens if I know the perimeter, but I don't necessarily have all of the dimensions? So let's say that the distance around this flower bed was 64 feet. That is the perimeter of the flower bed. And this flower bed is a square flower bed. Remember what we said about squares? That's right. All sides of a square are equal. Since a square has 4 equal sides, I know that they're going to have the same measure. If the total is equal to 64, that means that I could take 64 total feet and divide it by the amount of sides in the square, which is 4. And what am I going to get? Well, 64 divided by 4 is 16. That means that the length of each side of this flower bed is 16 feet. And I can check my answer by adding up the sum of those sides. 16 plus 16 plus 16 plus 16. 16 plus 16 is 32. 32 plus 32 equals 64. That checks out. Great job, guys.